Blake Lively's It Ends With Us contract is finally unsealed, so let's unpack it. Right off the bat, we find out what Blake was hired for. Was she a wardrobe assistant, an editor, a director? No, she was hired as an actor. Oh, shocker. They also note, this is going to be a huge shocker as well, that Wayfair owns all the rights. They own everything, just so you know.
No, I mean, the work and the effort you put into this movie is enormous and phenomenal, and it wouldn't be what it is without you.
After the first page, we find out why Blake Lively didn't sign her contract, because she broke almost every rule in the contract. So let's start with the first one, shall we? First one, artists shall comply with all reasonable written directions, requests, rules, and regulations of the company. Did Blake listen when they told her only show a small clip, but instead she showed the entire film, her version, and it was before Justin even saw it. So you're showing a film that Justin, the one that owns the rights to this entire thing, hasn't even seen yet, and you're just out here not complying with the rules.
You sure about that?
This next part, the pro Blake people are not going to like. It states that the company acknowledges that the artist, Blake, shall not be obligated to perform any particular promotional services that they find personally offensive. So the whole grab your florals, Blake can't say, oh, I didn't want to do it, or it was Justin's idea. No, not only did your husband do the marketing and the promoting, but you could have said, hey, I find this offensive, but you didn't. So that's out the window. Oof, they're not going to like this one either. I can't read it to you because when I tried to, it muted me. So censorship at its finest. You can't say certain words. So read this part. This next part kind of shocked me a little bit. So not only does Blake get 10% of the earnings of the film, she also gets bonuses for how well the film does and if she's nominated for any roles. But that's not all. She has a part in her contract where she is allowed one credit as an executive producer. So you already have it in your contract that you are going to get credit as an executive producer, and yet you still did all of this. Really?
Are you kidding me?
Not only was this part of the contract broken, but it explains why none of the cast would say Justin's name during press or even acknowledge him. It's because they're not allowed to say anything defamatory about the company, which would include Justin if he's their boss. So they couldn't say anything, and especially if Blake is right next to him, you're definitely not going to say anything. But this also says that they may not disclose any confidential information not otherwise available to the public. So that whole New York Times, I think that would fall under this. The contract goes on to say things like Blake isn't supposed to frustrate the time or the scheduling of the production. Keep in mind her constantly being out sick, whether she actually was or she was going to the Eras tour. We have all that. Then it explicitly says over and over again that the company had final say. So we have to acknowledge that Justin, he is at fault here because he needed to put his foot down multiple times. And there's text messages acknowledging his team noticed, hey, he's letting her slide. This is going to get out of hand. And it did. So I think this is a lesson for Justin that if or when he does do another film, put your foot down. It doesn't mean you're a bad guy. It just means you're holding your boundaries. And for people I'm still learning it too. It's uncomfortable trying to hold on to your boundaries when you're used to being a people pleaser. I get it, but it's just something to work on. We're human. But it goes on to say this. I love this part. The company lets Blake have one guest at the premiere. Does this look like one guest to you? No. So not only was Justin in the basement, but Blake just invited everyone she wanted. The final rule broken, Blake wasn't supposed to hire anyone. Not a single person at all. But she hired an editor that was on Deadpool, and Ryan writing part of the scene. And then also Ryan being in the marketing. So there's that.
Oh my God, he's the best guy.
So my thoughts on Blake's contract. First thing that comes to mind, why? I mean, you literally were going to get executive producer credit. Why did we do all this? You just had to get all the rights. We couldn't just be happy with what we got. And that's probably the saddest thing of all, is this is even further confirmation that this is all self-sabotage. All of it. Whether it's self-sabotage or, a collaboration you're doing with Ryan, I don't know, Blake. I don't know. I truly don't know why the rhyme or reason between anything you're doing at this point. I don't know.
I'm constantly waiting for someone to tell me to stop.
Mark my word, I already know the pro-Blake people out there are going to use the part of the contract where it talks about SH and how no SH is allowed whatsoever. And if there is any SH, the contract is terminated. Here's a few problems with that. Number one, Blake never signed the contract. Number two, if SH did happen, Blake would not be filing a 17-point, declaration being like, hey, you have to do these 17 things and then I'll come back on set. It would have been, hey, I'm filing something because you SH'd me. What do you guys think about her contract? I do have a few updates for you. Update number one, remember when I told you to keep an eye out for my docket, number 733? Well, it's disappeared. And don't worry, it's not deleted from the docket. It's in judicial review right now. So Lyman is looking it over. He's going to be working on his response and we should be hearing back soon. So super exciting. I can't wait. We got a 50-50 shot right now. But it was unopposed. So I have a higher chance, but we'll see. So then the second update about the Taylor trespasser allegedly trying to serve her. I am still going to that hearing, but it did get moved to the beginning of November. So I will be there still, but I just want to let you guys know that it will be at a later date. So stay tuned. I will be there. As always, this is all alleged, so take it with a grain of salt and follow me for more.